I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings, everybody. Happy Friday morning. Hope you're all having a nice Thursday. My Thursday will be nice if the Astros can somehow pull this off. I'm pretty much sitting even 2-2. Diamondbacks was sweet, but I need the Astros. I'm about even. If I get the Astros winning day, if I don't get the Astros losing day, it's not looking good because Rooker just hit a home run, I believe. Oh, no, it wasn't Rooker. It was whoever was batting before him. Who the hell bats second anymore? I don't even remember. But yeah. We're moving on to Friday. We got 15 games. We got Cab here from Pub Sports Radio because, as you guys know, Toast is actually at the Dodgers-Padres game right now. And Trevor was in Chicago at Wrigley for the game today and then left his wallet in the hotel. So he literally had to stop on his way home from Chicago and turn around to go get his wallet. So, yeah. So shout out to Cab for filling in on like 2 hours' notice. Made it work. So we're going to get off and rolling here. 15 games. Yeah, no doubleheaders or anything. 15 games. Let's do it. And I bet the first one. I am a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth when it comes to the Mariners because I just lost with them against Boston. I forget exactly which game of the series, but I lost the game and the Red Sox had like 3 hits in it. So it was just a disgusting performance across the board. I went right back to him here. Don't love the spot for Chicago coming off the huge emotional division game. Maybe I'm reaching there, calling it a flat spot, but coming off the big game against the Brewers, you got the Mariners who just had kind of an embarrassing showing at home in Seattle. And Toast always talks about it. He likes to bet those teams that have an embarrassing homestand and then they go out on the road. It's kind of like a momentum shift. So that's what I'm hoping to see here from Seattle. They had the day off. So I think Seattle's in a good position to steal one here. Also, not the biggest Matthew Boyd fan. I realize he's pitched pretty well. Little bit of questionable competition so far, but I've always liked George Kirby. Seems to be getting his legs under him. Also, he throws a four-seam fastball. Cubs in the last 30 days, one of the worst lineups in baseball, hitting the four-seam fastball. But not just that, and I'm sure Spoon's not going to appreciate this, but can we talk about how your bats are just trending in the wrong direction here, Spoon? I mean, numbers don't lie. This is a bad lineup right now. In the last 30 days, they're bottom 5 at home. In the last 14 days, they're bottom 10 against righties. The last 14 days, bottom 10 overall. I mean, I don't really love the Cubs lineup right now. So give me the Mariners. I think I got plus 112. I'll check it at my exact slip, but I did bet Seattle. Spoon, are you with me?
I'm not with you, Sauce, here. To quote Dr. House, everybody lies, number lies. You can make it say whatever you want it to say. I think Kirby is in a spot where he's not really pitching to the best of his abilities. This is a guy that at the best of his times, he's not going to give up any walks. You look at his last game out, he gave up 3 walks. This is George Kirby, a guy that prides himself on control. This is how he got to the major leagues at such a young age and has dominated from that point. Coming back from injury, it's a hard thing to navigate. This is a guy that didn't have a lot of rehab starts. They put him straight into the majors. This is Wrigley Field. It's one of those places where it can either play super offensive or super defensive. And this is not a pitcher-friendly park tomorrow. If we go to our friends at Ballpark Pal, they'll show you plus 22% home runs and plus 13% runs overall. This is Matthew Boyd, a guy that came up in the Tigers farm system. I think this is a good spot for him to excel versus Seattle. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm much closer to betting the Cubs than Seattle. Toast.
Wow, I'm toast now. Damn. looking like I haven't bathed today. He's usually here.
He looked really skinny in the picture. I was.
Cab, would you call yourself a Matthew Boyd fan?
Look, these are 2 guys here, both pitchers who you got to expect regression in each direction, right? George Kirby, 5.96 ERA. That's not the guy, right? You can't say 3 quality starts his last 3 starts, but, only giving up 2 runs in all of them. If he got 1 more inning in 2 of the 3, then you got 3 quality starts in a row. And a quality start in the MLB, that's a beautiful thing here. And Matthew Boyd on the flip side, I expect some negative regression out of him. I have more hate for Seattle than any other baseball team anywhere in all of baseball, because no matter how I bet them, when I bet them, they will find a way to ruin me offensively. If it's an under, somehow it'll be the one day they put up 10 runs. If I ever bet an over or bet on Seattle, they don't score. They don't score anything. I had a first 5 over just a couple days ago with Seattle. Bases loaded, no outs. Bottom of the third inning, you got your 1-2-3 hitter coming up, and they don't get a run. How do you blow that with your 1-2-3 hitter with the team that you're struggling so much? So Seattle, man, I'm not betting them, but I do not dislike where your mind's at in this game. I'm not going to be betting this game. I'm real transparent with like what I'm going to bet and what I'm not.
Yeah, we do that here too. Yeah. So
Okay.
it would be Mariners or pass, would you say?
Sure, I would say that. Yes.
I did bet the Mariners, and I completely resonate with what you're saying. I feel like the Mariners are the team that a lot of their games don't make sense. They lose the games they're supposed to win. They win the games they're supposed to lose. And like Spoon just said, numbers lie. The Mariners are the team where you look at the spreadsheet and you're like, what the fuck? What do you mean they're 9th in the last 14 days? Where have all these hits come from? So
Yeah.
they're like the king of the spreadsheets lie.
Somebody's just sneaking in there, changing the numbers in the
what I'm
spreadsheet
saying.
just to F with us.
Like they're 9th in WRC plus. I don't remember them scoring 3 or more runs in a game. So
Listen, the way that it was, I think it was that third inning, man. It was 3 strikeouts too. I just wanted to double check. It wasn't just that they, had the 1-2-3 hitters up with the bases loaded. It was K, and 2 of them struck out looking. The fuck are you doing? Swing the bat. Like, it's so sorry for my rant there on the Mariners. Mariners are past, but
there was a game last year where I had the Mariners money line against the Tigers, and the Tigers had no hits going into the 9th inning, and I lost 1-0 that game. So I share some of the same pain there. So me and Spoon were talking about this one in the voice chat, and it sounds like we're pretty much on the same page. So me and Spoon recently, we were talking about, is it more profitable to bet the -1, the money line, or the -1.5? So I ran the numbers on the year because I was genuinely curious. The findings were actually pretty crazy. So the money line and the -1 are actually pretty close. On shorter favorites, the money line's been more profitable. So in between -115 and -160. But when you get up to like the -170s, the -180s, the -190s into the -200s, it actually evens out, and the -1 actually even becomes more profitable when you get up towards the -200s. The number one thing we found was -1.5 is a terrible bet. You'd have literally half the earnings, -48 units, I think it was, in one of the sample sizes. If you bet every single favorite, 1 unit on every single favorite -1.5 this season, you'd be down 110 units. That's over 100%. So you'd be bust about last week. So -1.5 has been an awful bet this year. So why am I saying all that? So we crunched those numbers. I just did that this morning. I was texting Spoon. I laid the juice. It's disgusting. I took a -185 favorite, but I hate this spot for the Pirates coming off the double header. Their 3 main bullpen arms all through 20-plus pitches. Now, they'll probably be available, but it's the Grom. The Rangers' bullpen has been pretty solid. I actually think the Rangers getting – a lot of times I like a change of location if a team just had a rough series. They, like kind of what I was just saying with Seattle, they just got swept at home by the Royals. This is like an emotional low for Texas. I think they're going to hit Burrows. I actually think that they win this comfortably, but I couldn't lay the -1.5 because of the numbers I just looked at today. So I have a -185 money line in my pocket. I know it's crazy, but I bet it, and I think Spoon is on Rangers -1, right?
I tried to convince you in the chat just to go to the -1. We did all those. You did all that work today. Had to be an hour worth of putting just stuff in the spreadsheet, going through, sorting it out. You didn't just do like one section. We looked at it in different spots, and this spot was like the cutoff point. From here up is where we want to bet -1s for the rest of the season. In my opinion, I want to try to move the juice up on these. And in the past, I might be a little bit scared, but this is a Pirates offense I'm not the least bit scared of. Texas's bats. I think there's a lot of players on this team. Cab's going to probably come here. He knows this Texas team way better than I do, but Simeon, everybody here, Seager, Langford, I think this team can score. Rangers -1, Pirates bats not going to get anything off DeGrom, in my opinion. It's lined this way for a reason. They don't want you to bet it. If you bet it, you're going to have to pay a bunch of juice. And the -1 is how I can scrape some of that juice off it, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and in addition to the doubleheader, it's like a weird doubleheader for the Pirates. They had the rain delay in there, so they were over out there in Detroit late, flying back home. So I just hate the spot for the Pirates. Also, they're just a bad baseball team. Cab, DeGrom, what are you doing here?
Man, you got to tip the cap to the guy. I mean, and shout out to the Rangers for notoriously not being able to hit the baseball, and then not being able to pitch and having great hitters, and then all of a sudden you've got this pitching lineup,
right?
Starters that are just off the charts, and you can't score, anything. I mean, they can't hit their ass with both hands. They're literally lost up there, anemic. I mean, look at what the Royals did. And how do you have 12 hits and only get 3 runs? Like, what were they doing? Just base running errors, just I could go on and on about the negative of the hitting, but as far as DeGrom goes, tip of the cap, I'll say it again. This dude has been locked in. I mean, I know people want to say, oh, his strikeout numbers are a little bit down and his velocity's a little bit down. Okay, his velocity's down to 98. Like, a big deal, right? He's still missing bats plenty enough, and he's having, I don't want to say a Cy Young season, but damn close right now. I mean, I'd put him at least in the conversation, right? If he keeps throwing the way that he's throwing. So I'm going to show you guys how I want to bet this and how I'm going to bet it. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to make the bet when I'm off here. I was just putting the numbers together because I want to see where it was. I agree. I've never bet a -1.5. I don't do it. I won't do it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's the stupidest bet when I just think about how I'm going to bet something. I've got no problem with the -1 Spoon. It's like, I'm not scared to push a bet. I've been a person who notoriously has bet a lot of first fives with pitchers because I like to cap the pitcher and I'll take a run line. And if it's a heavy favorite and I really like the pitcher, I'm not scared of a -1 in the first 5 because, like I said, a push is whatever. But the way I'm betting this game is I'm going to take Marcus Semien to get a hit and the Rangers to win the baseball game. Okay. So we're just going to put those two things together right there. You're going to get right around +110, +115. And I'm a big fan of that bet. Like, I love it. I can't wait to actually put my money on it when we're done with this show.
So I'm going to get it on the screen so everyone can see it. We got Rangers money line and Semien to record a hit. So
a little bit on Semien real quick. Last 10 games hitting right around 300. He was Bochy was talking about Semien was at this point where they were going to start spot starting him. He was hitting that bad, like under 200. It was just atrocious. Since that day where I heard the conversation about spot starting him, he's been lights out. I mean, just tearing the cover off the baseball, getting hit, doubles, home runs, his slugging percentage is up, everything. He's hitting like he should be. So I think this is just a great spot. I got Semien, who's finally locked in, back up from the bottom of the lineup to the 4-hole right now. And I got DeGrom, who I trust. So I love this bet.
Yeah, I mean, Semien, huge turnaround. I remember having a conversation with somebody saying, is Semien going to be in the starting lineup by the end of this season? He was truly terrible. I think he was hitting like 168 at one point or something.
He was a day or two away from getting out. It was that close.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 3. When do you guys want to take this one? I don't freaking know. Orioles, Yankees, free. Do you think, like, I heard some people saying Orioles first 5 team total under. I'm all ears if you guys want to talk about this one.
Okay, that's whoever said it. If it was somebody in the chat or somebody you were talking to, the first 5 team total under, there it is. Because Max Fried, I mean, look at what the guy has been doing, just lights out. But the Yankees, on the other hand, 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're hitting .215 as a team. They're not scoring runs. So my mind goes towards like full game under if I'm looking at what I actually want to bet, because I'm not fading Fried. There's no question about that. That's not going to happen. Anybody who has the balls to do that, congratulations. But I feel like that's senseless, right? So am I going to go under or a team total under for the Orioles? And that I'm probably not going to bet it, but that's where it's at. I think whoever said it had it broken down right.
Yeah, there was a few people in the voice chat earlier that like that. I think they were talking about how Fried's been really good in Yankee Stadium this year. I personally didn't even look at it because, like, I looked at it and my first thought was, how do you lay minus 226 with the Yankees? And then it's like, how do you take Baltimore against Fried? So I agree. I mean, think it could be 0-0 after 5 innings. What held me off of the under was the weather. It looks like nice run-scoring weather at Yankee Stadium. What do you think, Spoon?
Yeah, the plus 38% home run percentage on Ballpark Pal, plus 9% runs does keep me off the under there. Sugano is a pitcher I really like for Baltimore. He's the guy I want to try to back when I look at Baltimore. But that being said, this is a team that you really can't trust. They just blew an 8-run lead a couple days ago. This bullpen, always suspicious. The Yankees, we can look at how cold their bats have been, but don't we expect them to hit better? The books are telling us they're going to hit better here. I think this is a spot where the only way you're going to be successful is just laying the juice with the Yankees. I'm not betting this game, but you can just put me down on that. Yankees is super juiced, -1 or money line. I don't care.
If I was forced to bet the game, it would probably be Baltimore team total under. I would imagine at this price with a 9 total, you could probably get a nicely priced 3.5. You're not going to get a 4.5, I wouldn't imagine, but I'm not even going to put it up because I don't really have much interest in the game. Let's move on. Next up is Detroit Tampa, and you know when and I hate when I think like this, but everyone who gambles can relate to this. You know when you look at it and it's like it feels too obvious almost. I mean, how do you not take the Rays at this price? I get it. Detroit's got the best record in the AL. I mean, their fans won't shut the hell up about it. The Tigers fans have really lost it. But let's be honest. The last 3 or 4 weeks, I mean, the Rays have been the better team. What are the Rays, like 24-6 in their last 30 games? I mean, they're like the hottest team in baseball. Meanwhile, the Tigers, yes, they're sitting atop the standings. They're like 12-9 in their last 21 games. I mean, they haven't been tearing the cover off the ball. In fact, their numbers against right-handed pitching are pretty underwhelming. Now, I'm sure at some point they will heat back up again, but I feel like what's happening here is we're letting Detroit's position in the standings kind of blind us from seeing that they're not playing the most elite baseball right now. They're not playing poorly, but they are not playing like the best team in the AL right now. Shane Baz has been pretty solid. I like how he has nice splits against lefty bats. The Tigers have a ton of lefty bats. I don't love the idea of backing a pitcher in this ballpark, but I think Baz can pitch well. Here's the numbers on the Tigers bats I was telling you about. Last 30 days, this is a bottom 5 lineup against right-handed pitching. Bottom 5. On the road, bottom 10 lineup in the last 30 days. Astros just tied it. Let's go.
Let's go, Sauce.
There you go. There you go.
There we go. I wore it for good luck there. Anyway, look, I know me and the Tigers fans are kind of developing a rivalry here. I'm not trying to shit on you guys. I'm just saying, can we at least admit like they're not playing the best and they're on the road against one of the hottest teams in baseball at a pick? I didn't do it because I felt like I felt like it should be like -130, but I don't know if it's my hatred for Tigers fans that is kind of like, I don't know, blinding me a little bit, but I think it has to be the Rays at this number. Cab, what do you think?
I got no problem with that. I can talk on the side and stuff a little bit, but I've got a bet that I want to jump right into that I like on this, and I guess you could say it's on the other side. But Javier Baez, last 10 games, 394, 3 home runs. He's covered his total base prop 5 out of the last 6 games. And I think that this game I lean towards the over full game. As far as the side goes, like I said, I could get to it. I think if I had to bet a side, I'd take whoever has less juice. I'd take the plus money. It's that simple because I really do kind of think it's a wash as a side for me personally on this game. But I'm going to bet this. Look, my book doesn't have the props yet. That's the only reason I haven't.
Which prop is it? You said Javi Baez. Is it like a hit, a home run? I'm
going to take his total base prop. He's covered it 5 out of his last 6 games. I'm showing at a place it's plus 135 right now. If it's anywhere close to that, I'm going to bet it. I'm not going to get that. I'm just going to tell you that right now. My book that I have to use where I'm at does not give me the props for a few hours.
He uses Guadalajara just like Trevor does.
It's very frustrating.
I just put not open yet on the screen. So whenever they're watching this in the morning, that's what you like. Go get whatever number you could get.
Okay. Awesome. And I love it. Like I said, 394 in his last 10 games, 3 home runs. And really what gets me is at a plus money price like this for somebody who's covering the bat. Real quick, since we haven't got to talk betting, for baseball, I like the idea if I'm going to back a player or a player prop, I'm going to do it consistently. So I'm not looking to just spot hit something for somebody that I think is a perfect matchup. I'm gonna ride with the player because I think the waves, like you're talking about the Tigers as a team hitting how they're down right now, the waves in baseball are real from the top to the bottom. That's why we're talking about the Yankees only hitting, 215 over the last 10 days. If you think a player is getting hot, do not just bet them once. If you do that, you will not be successful. Give them a few games, okay? And if you don't have the balls to like invest in somebody after they've lost you money once or twice, then maybe player props aren't the way to go. But in baseball, you have to give them a chance for the numbers to play out.
You just like Toast says that all the time. When he finds a player he likes, he'll bet their 1.5. He does hits, runs, and RBIs. That's the market he likes, and he'll bet the same player over for like 45 straight days until the market has caught up to what he's seeing. That's the way he phrases it.
Brandon Marsh is paying my fucking bills right now.
I hate that fucking guy, dude.
I hate that guy. Listen, plus 170, plus 175, and he is just cashing his total base and his hits, runs, RBIs, which I've been on both. And his hits, runs, RBIs have been at like plus 110, just paying bills. But I feel you if you don't like the guy.
Well, I mean, at first, I'm a Mets fan. I hate all things Philadelphia, Mets and Knicks. So, of course, I hate Philadelphia. But also recently on this show, I don't know if I faded the Phillies or took an under or forget what happened, but someone was naming good hitters in the Phillies lineup. It was probably like 2 weeks ago, and they're like Brandon Marsh, and I laughed. I was like, Brandon? Oh, was it you, Spoon?
He was because I bet him a lot, man. I'm telling you, dude, I make so much money betting that motherfucker. I did last year too. Like just at
Cab
the right
knows baseball a little bit better than
juice,
most.
Man.
He knows
You're
these Texas
plus
teams.
170 plus 175, like that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, he's been red hot. Spoon, what are your thoughts on my Rays bet? Am I biased to Tigers fans, or does what I said have weight?
So that's two different questions. Yes, you're biased for Tigers fans, and yes, what you said does have weight. I really like Tampa Bay here. I'm looking at Steinbrenner, how it's going to play offensively tomorrow. I think that these Tiger bats are better than these Tampa Bay bats. I don't care what the numbers say. I can throw them all out. If we put these guys in the same offensive environments throughout the course of the season, I think the Tigers would have a lot more runs. And I just look, they're getting healthier. We're bringing AAA guys up. This is a spot where the Tigers, I feel like, are going to get on the board. And I would just like to get to the Tigers team total over. I have not made a bet on this yet, but
the Tigers
you can get a deuce 3.5 right now.
So is this just
Put me on the
today, or
board
do
for that.
you just go against each other all the time? Is this like a running thing?
No. Me and Spoon, no, we're on the same side all the time.
Okay.
Just recently,
So I'm
Tigers fans.
I forced him on this Houston bet. I made him go on Cardinals team or the second game of a doubleheader. He hates doing that.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get on the same page. Like if it's a terrible pitcher that I just sell him on, he likes it.
Yeah.
Me and Spoon will be on the same page sometimes, but his buddy and my buddy, Wine Time, his favorite thing is to be on the opposite side of my bets.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you have a friend you can fade and bet against and be in a group chat with and shit. It's a lot of fun. I do it with Toast all the time.
Well, it kind of it's not really. He would say like, "What are you talking about?" But it just seems like he's always on the exact opposite side, which is not a good thing because he's having a great season. So,
yeah. Well, luckily Toast is having a bad season, so it's worked out for me going against him so far this year. White Sox Blue Jays. I don't know if you were in the voice chat for this one, Spoon. I kind of just tailing the group on this one. What Spoon is about to talk about is the roof, and you guys have heard me talk about this roof. This damn roof in Toronto, man. You take the roof off this place, it turns into Coors Field. You put the roof on, and it's Detroit. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but that's what it feels like. The ball just flies in this place when they open the roof up. So here's my bet. Like I said, I was tailing. We were talking about this in the group chat. I said I like the under 9. If the roof was closed. That was what I originally said. Then everyone else was talking, and some people threw out the first 5 under. It's a 5.5 at -140. So I paid for it, but this should be 4.5. If the roof's closed, I love this bet. If it's open, maybe I'm in trouble, but go ahead, Spoon. You said you like the matchup for Spencer Turnbull, right?
I did. So I'll start off with your magic roof. I think the weather is not perfect for the roof being open. Here in Toronto, they have like specific rules, just like everybody does with their roofs. And what they want is a beautiful day in Toronto. So that means above 70 degrees, not a lot of wind, no chance of precipitation. There's chance of precipitation earlier in the day. There's really high winds, over 20 miles an hour. I think this is a spot where they just are going to be forced to close that roof. I like the under that you're on right there in the first 5. I like the Blue Jays. This is a team that I'm not in love with. It's a lot of juice to have to pay to try to get with them. But I think we can really take advantage of this White Sox team throughout the second half of this season and just completely bet against them every chance we get. I'm not going to have action in this game, but it would be -1 Blue Jays if you were going to make me bet something.
Cab, anything here?
No bet. Under would be the only way I'd go here. If I'm being honest, out of all the games on the board, this one is the one that least intrigued me as far as wanting to bet on goes. I don't know how many innings I'm going to get out of Turnbull. I mean, what, a 2 maybe? What do you think? How much do you think he'll throw this game?
He only threw 2 1/3, I think, in his first 2 outings, right? I really don't know.
So that's one thing I would want to see is like if they're going to extend. I mean, they should extend him, I guess.
4 innings.
4, yeah. I was going to say they'll extend him a little bit there. But the under, man, the under is the only thing I would bet. If I was going to bet anything in this game, it'd be the under.
Agreed. Hopefully they close that roof. If they close the roof,
Magic
I love
roof.
that bet. Atlanta, Miami, Fuentes against Junk. Either you guys want to take this one? I didn't spend a single minute on it.
Listen, man, when I first Spoon already knows what I'm going to say. Hold up, because I don't want to. I feel like I can say this, but when I first read these 2 pitchers' names, I swear I thought that guy's first name was Fuentes. His first name is like Didler or something like that, and I thought it said Diddler, and I'm like, wait. This is Diddler and Junk. That's the name of these 2 pitchers, bro. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw that. No, I'm not betting the Spoon. Let's hear what you're looking at in this one. Actually, I do have a bet in this game that I'm gonna make that I like. So let me not pass that away real quick. Xavier Edwards, really quick. He's only seen Bryce Elder 2 times. He's got 1 hit. Last 10 games, he's hitting .310. But when you dive into his splits, this is where I think Elder gets interesting, right? Xavier gets interesting. He's hitting .321 versus right-handers, .333 at home, .324 at night. We check all 3 of those boxes. Depending on what his juice is, I couldn't get a line earlier, which is why I was like kind of passing over. I really like Xavier Edwards base prop. Just have not got a juice is everything. I'm not paying juice. If it's like even money or better, I'll bet it. If it's not, I won't.
Xavier Edwards over bases depending on the price.
Yes.
Spoon, any thoughts on this one, or you want to skip it?
Yeah, I have to skip this. I need to know what I have in pitchers, and I spend a lot of time looking at pitchers, and what you have here is just a lot of unknown.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I don't even know if we talked about it in the voice chat. I don't even remember anyone talking about this game.
No, we just straight skipped it.
This one's interesting. I feel like we spent a lot of time talking about this game in the voice chat. So I know, Spoon, you can go ahead and go first. I know you're talking about the weather here. Apparently very nice run scoring weather here with wind blowing out to left. Was that you that was talking about it, Spoon?
So Busch is, in my opinion, one of the more pitcher friendly parks you will run into in the NL Central, and that includes Wrigley and everything. Tomorrow, you're going to have really high temperatures, wind blowing out straight from right to left towards the outfield. I think this is just as offensive friendly weather as you're ever going to get here. You get the Cincinnati bats coming in. I kind of went back and forth with how I wanted to attack this, but I like both of these teams to get on the board tomorrow. Yep. I know a lot of people have respect for these pitchers. I'm a bigger Brady Singer fan than most, so I was trying to get over my bias of just wanting to back Cincinnati here with him at a backable price. But I think that's probably the way I'm going to lean. I haven't got to the ticket window with this yet. I'd like to see sort of how the market develops. I think Palante, being a ground ball pitcher, kind of this is a good day for him to pitch well as well. I'd like to see the market develop, but put me on the board for Cincinnati.
So Reds or pass for Spoon. Cab, the way I'm looking at it is the Cardinals just played the series against the White Sox. They scored 8, 5, and 12. Is that enough for us to be like, okay, the Cardinals bats are back? Because they were slumping before that. So is one good series enough to trust this Cardinals lineup right now?
If it's a team you trust, yeah, I think a series is enough. I think it's very important to be very perceptive of how quickly you don't want to jump on a hitter trend or on a team, hitting trend 7 or 8 games down the line, right? You want to get in it on the 3rd or the 4th game. This is when you got to get in on it, right? This is exactly when you got to get in on it. Real quick, and I'm sorry for jumping back because I felt like I was losing my mind bringing up Bryce Elder. I think Bryce Elder will be in the game for the Braves, and my bet on Edwards is going to be predicated on that. I think Elder comes in. He's 6 days out. I don't know why I have that. I must have had something that I lost. So the Edwards bet is predicated on if Bryce Elder is coming in after Fuentes, which I think would probably be the case. Fuentes is probably going to go like an inning and maybe 2, and then Elder comes in. Well,
Fuentes is 20 years old, so it wouldn't be crazy for him to just be an opener or just get through the lineup once or something.
Exactly. So I need to figure that out, and that's where my bet's predicated, like full transparency. On this game right here, I like the first 5 over. It's going to be a large number, probably a 5.5. I'm going to look right now. And sorry, guys, on the transparency thing, my bets just aren't in yet. As soon as I found out I was coming in on this, I got to capping on it because I cap late and early in the morning and then get my bets in.
Well, that's what this show is. It's not – this isn't like us delivering a finished product. The show is like us figuring it out. So
beautiful. That's
what the theme of the show is. Like, we're not always – sometimes I'm looking at these games for the first time on the show.
Okay, so you know how you said a 5.5 just feels like too high of a number? I couldn't agree with that more. One thing I tell everybody to look for is when you get those 7s or 6.5s, sometimes the 7.5, when you get a 3.5 in the first 5, I don't care if it's Superman versus Jesus on the mound. You just take the first 5 over. It's not enough runs, okay? If both pitchers give up 2 runs and have a quality start through 6 innings, that's a quality start, and they still gave up 2 runs. The 4.5 is your typical number. I'm seeing a 5 right now in this first 5 over, and I like it a lot.
You can get a 4.5 still.
You can. Let me see.
Yeah, I see a -130 if that interests you. You can also get a 5, first 5 over 5 at MGM, but I mean, it doesn't even look like much better price. But you can definitely still get a 4.5.
I would probably go with the -130. That's not a problem for me right there. And this is another thing. I don't know. I can get full game on my 2 books right now. I can't get first 5 for another few hours, and it's so frustrating. So first 5 over, though, is what I like here.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with what everyone said. I think we've seen enough to declare the Cardinals bats back. I mean, let's not act like they were cold for 6 weeks. It was like 12 days. They had a really rough stretch, but they scored, 25 runs in that series against the White Sox. That was on the road, too. White Sox Park is not the easiest place to go and score runs. So over or pass, I didn't end up betting it. You got to take the full 9. And to be honest, I kind of lean towards the Cardinals side. The change of location sometimes is all you need to see these Reds bats go from 100 to 0 in a heartbeat. So, the Reds are just so nuclear, red hot to ice cold in a second. So, I would lean towards the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals to hit is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't like Brady Singer anymore. I loved betting him at home in Kansas City. I feel like I don't even know this guy anymore. Next up is Mets Phillies. We do have lines now. So it looks like we're getting Zach Wheeler at like -235, -240 in there. Is it Tidwell? I don't know anything about this game. If you guys want to talk about it, I guess it's a guy named Tidwell. Does anyone have anything? I got nothing.
Go ahead, Spence.
Muted.
You got to let it go a little longer before you tell him.
I'm normally pretty good at getting on these young pitchers. Tidwell is not somebody I'm familiar with. Zach Wheeler, though, on the other hand, this is a guy I want to back every single time he touches the mound. He's on my fantasy team. I have a group of pitchers there that I have overpaid for and just left there. Zach Wheeler is the best pitcher on the Phillies roster, in my opinion. This Mets-Phillies rivalry is a big thing, and this isn't something new to Wheeler. He knows he needs to step up in this game. You put him on the mound versus Tidwell. This is an automatic win for the Phillies, in my opinion. Put it in whatever parlay you need to do. I'm probably not actually going to have it on my card, but I would pay the super juice to do it. This is a Phillies automatic win, in my opinion.
So I'll touch on your favorite player, Marsh, one more time before we pass on this one. Last 10 games, hitting 400, and that's including going 0-3 today, right? That's in the numbers. So hitting 400, including going 0-3 today. He's covered his total base prop 6 out of his last 10 games, and the lowest I've seen it is plus 155. It's been up to plus 175. I've been fortunate enough to hit it a few times. I don't have a number on it yet because the line, I didn't have a number on it when I looked. Depending on it, I will probably be back on his total base prop. And how I bet this with somebody like Marsh is I'll take the hits, runs, RBIs like your guy Toast does. And then I'll kind of sprinkle a little bit less on the total basis prop. So I'll have both, just depending on juice. I need juice to tell everybody exactly what I'm betting.
Yeah, and he does the exact same thing with hits, runs, and RBIs. He almost plays player props like you would play like a stock. Like he has Jake Fraley in his lineup. That was 2 years ago. Jake Fraley every day for like 3 months, and every day would almost be like the same 5 names, and he would just like every 5 days like switch one out. It was almost like his portfolio for the month.
I got so much shit for that exact same thing last season, and I explained it over and over again. People are like, "Oh, I already know what Cavs betting. It's going to be Corey Seager and Yordan Alvarez total base prop." And it's like, well, you know what? If you know what I'm betting, then maybe you should do it and start making money, because last season I killed it with those guys. And this is my second year of sticking with the player prop, like what you're talking about Toast doing. This is my second year of doing that. And right now I'm slightly up units on the season, but everybody knows who gambles every single day. Slightly up units, we'll take it.
Hell yeah. Anyone who actually tracks honestly, like, dude, break even, I'm like,
yeah, exactly. On a full season, right? Exactly.
In baseball,
I had a ton of fun, bet all year, and didn't lose any money. Like, I'll take that. But what I was saying about he plays it almost like a portfolio, and it really makes sense if it's this batter is priced out as if they're going to have a 760 OPS, and you think they're going to have an 840. Just play it every day because you're going to turn a profit. I mean, it's simple, man. It makes sense.
Yep.
Doesn't mean they're going to go 4 for 4 that day. It's just saying over the next 60 days, this guy's going to exceed these prices. And until they adjust the price, doesn't make sense to not keep playing it.
And the easiest way, in my opinion, to find somebody is to have, whether we're talking about somebody like Simeon or Marsh, who is just sucking, because the market, the value is also going to be there. And you know this hitter's going to turn it around. And if you get in at the right time and ride with it, you're getting beautiful value on the bet. And I mean, they take off. Both of those guys have taken off. Both of them have been just great value bets if you've been betting them.
Yeah, if you got on Simeon the right time, I mean, he's turned it on, complete 180. All right, Milwaukee, Minnesota. There's a lot of talk about this game. A lot of people like the first 5 under here. In the voice chat, I think there were 3 or 4 people. Oh, actually, I have everyone's voice chat picks I can bring up in a second. But in the voice chat, there's a lot of people like the first 5 under. I don't know if I'm just blindly going to just jump on the Miz train here, because he shut down a Cubs lineup that I don't even think is playing that well right now.
He didn't shut down the Cubs lineup.
It was 5. Oh, it wasn't the Cubs. He didn't pitch against the Cubs. Who'd he pitch against?
We were waiting for the Cubs. We had a lot of money on the Cubs, and then it got rained out. We were really disappointed.
So who'd he pitch against again? The Cubs was supposed to be his second start. Who was it? Was it the Cardinals? Cardinals, I think.
Cardinals, very cold bats.
So the way I feel about this game, I am not betting this at all. There's no way I can look you guys in the face and tell you that I think the Twins are a good bet at minus 155, but I do think the Twins win this game. So I'll put Twins up. I'm not betting it at this number. I would need like a minus 130 to consider betting it. So it's not even close to playable. I think the Twins are going to touch Mizorowski up. They talked about his control issues. I don't think the Twins lineup has been nearly as bad as perceived. I don't love the fact that both of these lineups, I mean, the Twins are coming out of Great American. The Brewers are coming off like a shootout in Wrigley, the big division rivalry game. So I don't love the spot for either team, but I suppose I like the Twins spot a little better. I feel like I have the starting pitching advantage. Both bullpens are a little on the tax side, but the Twins are going to have, what's his name? Duran fully rested. Also, Jackson, Varland should be good to go. They only threw 15 and 13 pitches. So I would even give the slight bullpen advantage to Minnesota. Not playing it at this number, but it would only be Twins. I think they win this one. Spoon, I think you said you were leaning the other way.
Yeah, I specifically said don't anybody tag Trevor or anything, but I think Mizorowski can pitch well versus this Twins lineup. This isn't a super disciplined lineup. I'd like to find somebody that's a group of lineup that's just like more disciplined with their bats, more like what the Astros are, a team that can lay off some of these pitches. This guy has the heat, and I feel like every batter in this Twins lineup is just going to see that fastball and just try to swing at it because they know if they connect, they can make it go really far. And I don't know. I think this Twins bullpen is a bullpen I trust. I look at both of these bullpens. They both got work today. A lot of arms came out of them, but I really think this is a Milwaukee spot, in my opinion. I'm not going to go to the window with it. I don't think at this point. The big issue for me is with these rookie pitchers, I feel like the books are kind of ahead of everybody else on it. So they give you an opening line that tells you what's going to happen. And with Mizorowski being plus 140, that tells me he's not going to have the start that I think he might, just looking at this lineup. But when those two things conflict, I just take my money away from it because that's a red flag for me, and I don't need that.
Trevor is in the comments. By the way, it's Trevor's birthday. I didn't even know that. Happy birthday, man. I guess that's why he went to Chicago for the game. It's his birthday. Didn't even know that. But he said, that a boy, Spoon, welcome. As far as your admittance to the Mizorowski fan club, he's welcoming you.
This is a one-time entry. I'm never coming back.
Cap, what are your thoughts on Mizorowski here?
I promise you.
Well, I don't have much thoughts on Mizorowski here. I had two bets today on Twins players. I had Correa, his total bases plus 125. I cashed that. And then I had Castro, didn't cash that. He was plus 144. So came out on top. There's two ways. We've talked endless today about how we bet the player props. The only other way that I will bet them is a fade of a pitcher. And I'm going to just say this here because I want to say this every chance that I get. Nick Martinez is a punk bitch, okay? Do not bet on Nick Martinez in any way, shape, or form ever, okay? That guy is just meat. So one of the other ways I pick what I'm betting with player props is fading a pitcher. And today I was fading Nick Martinez. I'm just mad I didn't load up on a couple more players at plus money. I mean, I see plus money with these hitters on Nick Martinez, and I'm like, God, this is a feast, guys. Like, come on.
Nick Martinez is a punk bitch.
So, Dab, when it comes to pitching, do you know anything about pitching? You coach young players on pitching, right? You came up
an
in college,
interesting
right?
way to ask me the question. You want me to tell people that baseball's been my entire life?
Nobody knows you over here. Why don't you tell your pitching background a little bit? Because you know more than most.
Not unless we have time. But look, pitching and baseball has been my entire life. We'll say that. My whole life has been baseball. I still train pitchers right now. And I talk baseball with guys like you. And I also gamble on a lot of other things that I talk about too. But baseball has been my life. It's what got me here. It's why I'm here. So, yeah, I love it. I played in college, got drafted by the Brewers, and we'll have stories for another time.
Nick Martinez is a punk bitch. Is awesome. All right,
we need that quote for the Discord, please, Sauce.
I was just about to bring up a quote graphic of it, and then I was like, I don't mind saying the words, but when you put bitch in letters on it, that's when YouTube might do something. So I was going to put a quote up, and then I was like, But Diamondbacks, Rockies, and Coors Field. This is just like a freaking crazy game for both teams. The Diamondbacks were just in Toronto. So Toronto to the Rocky Mountains is a pretty decent hike with no days off. So the Diamondbacks finished up a series in Toronto. First of all, shout out to the Diamondbacks. It's one of my favorite bets today. So they came through for me, even with that shitty bullpen. So they fly from Toronto to Colorado. So you're like, oh, shit, you can't back Arizona in this spot. The Rockies are on a weird-ass hot streak. They're flying from D.C. So you got both teams making cross-country flights. I kind of want to take an under, and it's at 12. You can even get a 12.5. Now, you might be thinking, why do you even hesitate? 12.5, you hate the spot for both teams? Because I think the weather here at Coors Field tomorrow might be the most run-conducive weather we've seen in any baseball game this whole season. It's supposed to be hot. with wind blowing out to dead fucking center at Coors Field. So, I mean, this is like, remember those Mexico City games? This is like, there's a reason this total's 12 and a half. The weather is really nice for scoring runs, but I hate the spots for both lineups. Zach Gallen has great numbers against the Rockies. I think it would be under at this big number, but I can't do it because the weather is too freaking crazy. Plus 31% run index in this game. The next highest on the board is plus 13. So it's crazy weather in this one. Under a pass. Cab, any thoughts on this one?
Man, went down memory lane thinking about just you talking about like the atmosphere here in Colorado. So old teammate of mine at Texas Tech where I played in college, Chad Bettis. I think he was with the Rockies too. So for several years in the majors just not long ago. So shout out to him. He stood on home plate, and it was when we were in Colorado, and he threw the ball over the fence in the outfield from home plate. And I just want people to understand how freaking ridiculous that is because the ball flies. When you're in the bullpen, you have to like move your stuff. You can't leave your phone in your bag because balls during batting practice are flying. The hitters have a blast in Colorado. It's just even if I was in love with the under, I probably just wouldn't bet it like you're saying, just because I can't bet overs in Seattle and I can't bet unders in Colorado.
Yeah, I hear you. And this particular day is beautiful weather for scoring runs as well. So to make boundaries even worse. What do you think, Spoon?
Let's give the Colorado bats some flowers. These guys are absolutely ripping the leather off baseballs right now. They're going to Coors Field, the place where it's the easiest spot in baseball to hit. The Diamondbacks, the bullpen is one of the least trustworthy in bullpen, in my opinion. You have Zach Gallen, a guy who has had much better seasons than what he's having right now, but this is not a good spot for him. He has to go into Coors, an uncomfortable environment. I think he gives up runs. I think this is an over. I'm on the exact opposite side. The books are putting a 12 up there. That's for a reason. We don't see 12s all the time. There's no broke books. These guys make money for a reason. You see those same numbers. I think there's a lot of runs to be had here today. The Rockies, just like their bats have been doing good, their bullpen's been doing good, and all the arms are used, all the arms are taxed. So we're seeing the worst Colorado Rocky arms coming in tomorrow if they happen to be in a spot where they can win a game. I don't know. This is one of those, a lot of runs happen in Coors Field games for me. This Diamondbacks lineup can get all 12 runs by themselves.
Yeah.
Part of the pull towards the under on this is just thinking that Zach Gallen's going to get back to Zach Gallen. And I've bet that, thinking it a couple times, and I won't bet it again because he hasn't done it yet.
I mean, everything Spoon just said is accurate. There's so many things pointing towards the over. It's just counting on these teams to score 13 combined runs on a day where they're flying across the country into elevation without a day off, I think is crazy.
So you talk about flying across the country. These guys do it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, but historically, when teams fly into Coors Field, the bats don't show up. I remember doing now I haven't looked this year, but I remember looking at that last year. All right.
You had AI pull up something from the West to East Coast travel at one point, and there was definitely some negative stuff.
Yeah, that was wow. Good memory. I remember that. That was probably like 2 months ago now, or a month ago. All right, let's move on to the next one. Astros. This game is still going on. They're actually in the 10th inning right now, but we could take a look. I obviously, when we talked about this one in the voice chat, this game was in like the 6th or the 7th, so we don't really know what bullpen arms are going to be available or anything. We might be able to take a closer look now. I haven't even looked at this one. Cab, are you a Hunter Brown guy?
I mean, you gotta tip your hat to the guy, what he's done this season, right? You can't. I mean, am I a Hunter Brown guy? No, not necessarily, but god damn, he's been pitching the ball well. And then on the other side, you say Kikuchi, I say Kikuchi, but you say Kikuchi on the other side at 2-6, but the ERA is still sitting at a 3.05. The WHIP hanging around a 1.48. He needs to get that down. I don't have a total on this here. Obviously, the obvious thing would be an under, maybe, if I was going to bet it. Does seem like Houston's coming around with the bats, but take that with a grain of salt because they're doing it, against the Athletics on the road, and that ballpark has already shown how it's going to play for runs. So this is a tough one for me, guys. I got nothing here. Sorry.
It looks like, I mean, we didn't even know what the price was until a few minutes ago. I have nothing either. What I want to pass the spoon here is the allegations that were made in the voice chat, and are these numbers fraudulent? Astros against lefties. They're first across the board. Best lineup in baseball against lefties on the season. Best in the last 30 days. Best in the last 14 days. Someone in the voice chat said those numbers are fraudulent. Obviously, I think fraudulent's a strong word, but I feel like he made a decent case, Spoon. That's all I'll say.
So he listed some pitchers, and he said the Astros haven't seen a ton of left-handed pitchers, and I'll say okay. And he listed pitchers that they had seen recently. And okay, so you just showed the numbers. That was 14 days, that was 30 days, and that was the full season. I don't know what other sort of metrics you would like on the season to see that they're not bad versus lefties. I get if it said they were like 27th, 26th, 24th. It said 1, 1, 1, 1. It was every single statistic there. This is a team that hits lefties. It's not this year. It's not last year. This is a roster that's hit lefties very well for multiple years. This is a hitting coach. The whole philosophy, they take pitches, they don't strike out, they walk. This is a spot where I don't know what you're trying to get at. They're not fraudulent versus lefties.
I didn't say it. In fact, I kind of agreed with you in the chat. I was just saying I thought it was an interesting point.
You heard me. I kind of made it. I made a smirk remark. I was like, what part of it's fraudulent? Like, exactly what I just said.
No, that's why I brought it up, because I was like, oh, shit, Spoon didn't like that.
You can't make all the numbers lie. When every single thing says 1, you're like, all right, maybe he's pretty good at that. I'll give him that.
Well, the reason that's irrelevant is we're talking about the Astros against a lefty again in Kikuchi.
So, and Kikuchi, he played for the Astros last year. This is a guy, they're very well you get a book on a guy when you have a pitching staff that works with him and you try to get other people out. Now that pitching staff can come right to the hitting staff and be like, this is what he can't do. He can't throw this ball right here. So load up. He's going to miss on the inside fastball. He's going to leave it too far. And these bats are going to load up on it. They don't need any help hitting lefties, and they got help hitting lefties. This is an Astro spot. Lay all the juice. I love it.
Wow, that was some confidence there. I mean, I'll put Astros up too. I believe in the Astros numbers. I do think that guy made a decent point that they haven't seen a ton of left-handed pitching, and maybe the numbers are a little inflated. But you can't say fraudulent when they're literally first in every single category. And
what's the total for this game? Because I didn't have a line when I was capping it.
I'm seeing 8s.
I would lean under. Again, I'm not going to bet that, but if we're just putting up, I would lean under in this one.
Yeah, I'm seeing 8s across the board, so an under. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next
Not
game.
to just go directly against you, but I would bet the Astros team total over if I was doing that, just because Hunter Brown look at what he's done. Enough said, right?
Yeah.
I glossed over that Hunter Brown Cy Young season. Like, look at any way you want to.
Yeah. So I bet this one. This Royals lineup has made me a believer on the road, and I think as a whole, I think I was guilty. If you rewind 2 years ago, I took home away splits too seriously. Not that they're not important, but I was kind of like a slave to them. And I think home away splits, I've backing off them and kind of just taking them for what they are rather than treating them as gospel, I think has been a wise decision and has made me more accurate. But these are pretty significant here. And I brushed these off in one of the games in the Rangers series. I took the Rangers to beat the Royals, and I was like, who gives a shit about these Royals numbers on the road? But they just continue to hit on the road. This is, in the last 30 days, is a top 5 lineup on the road. And it's like it's clear as day here. They had back-to-back series at home. They didn't do shit. Before that, they were winning games. So check this out. So I'll bring it up on the screen. So here's the Royal schedule. They were at home. They lost 6 consecutive baseball games. Scored 0 runs. 2-0, 4-0. They couldn't score at all. Before that, on the road, they were scoring. 7, 1, 2, 7, 5, 10. They were scoring on the road. They go home, don't score shit. They go back on the road, they sweep the Rangers 6-6-4. I don't know what it is. I don't know why this Royals lineup hits on the road, but it does. And who the hell are the Padres to be laying minus 104, minus 184 when they're still playing in Dodger Stadium right now against their division rival? Right now. It's not even over yet. It's in the 9th inning. Toast is there. So I just love the spot for the Royals across the board, and I think this should be like plus 130. So I took it. Kansas City plus 154 in my pocket. I'm on the Royals. Spoon, I know you were in the voice chat for this part. Did you agree with that? I don't remember what you said.
I really like it. It seems like we're getting a suspiciously good price at 154 right here. The books know everything you just stated. Why are we still getting that? The Padres are a team that I expect to play better than what they have to this point in the season. I think the lineup's going to start scoring more runs. Kansas City definitely is better on the road than what they've been at home in Kauffman Stadium. And this is another kind of hitter. This isn't a great place for hitters to hit. And I don't know, maybe the Padres can keep them off the board. The plus 154, the books are telling me that's not the bet that I want to take. I think I probably just get to the over. I think both of these offenses find a way to score today, and that's what I would like to be at. It's not the most conducive to runs, but this is the point in the season where these lineups are waking up, and the Padres are going to try to stay in this game.
So over or pass for Spoon. Cab, anything in this one?
So one of my players and I made a lot of money on him was Merrill, Jackson Merrill. I've been very successful, hit him at the right time, and obviously he's not in. So Gavin Sheets, I've been paying very close attention to as well, and he's somebody who I thought, man, I might have missed the boat, but I should have been on. I took a shot with him just the other day, 2 games ago, and I didn't get there again today, but I am going to go back to it tomorrow because, like I said, I'm not going to just jump out after one miss, right? Over the last 10 games, and this is not including tonight's game for this one because, like you said, they're still playing. Over the last 10 games, he's hitting 343. He's got plenty of extra base hit power. I think he's going to be around plus 150 probably. I don't have a number on it yet, but if he's around plus 150, I'm going to take another shot on it.
So Sheets over bases. We're waiting for a number on that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and move on. We've got 3 games left, and Cleveland against the A's. I don't remember looking at this one. Tanner Bivey's. Oh, it's because the A's are still playing. That's why. So I haven't looked at this one yet. Spoon, Cab, either you guys have anything? I have nothing for this one. So
no, honestly, no. We don't have numbers on it either. It's so hard to cap something without numbers. Or at least I don't have numbers.
Usually we skip these, but I always just throw it out there in case anyone wanted to say anything. But normally we skip these.
Gotcha.
Anything, Spoon? Or do you want to skip this one?
I think this is an over game. We get this little AAA park. Guardians bats versus a lefty. I know they've been kind of cold on the season, but I think Springs is the guy they can get right on. I think there's going to be a lot of runs here. Tanner Bivey, the Athletics can definitely get to him. Put me on the board for Athletics team total over.
Athletics, but I think that's something that's interesting here, and I'm just like spitballing because I'm looking at for the first time. What kind of arms are the A's using in this extra inning game right now? They used actually they didn't even use anybody. Never mind, scratch that. So you like A's team total over? All right, I'll put it up on the screen real quick so people can see it. A's. Any idea what a price would be on that? Probably 4.5 or 8.
I don't have it at the moment. I got the A's Houston game still going.
Yeah, the total for the game's 10, so it's definitely not going to be anything lower than that. I'll put it up. A's team total over 4.5. But let's go ahead and move on to Nats Dodgers, another tough one because this game is still going on. So this is another one that I know that the Nationals bullpen is in a bit of a situation. I remember looking at that earlier today, and I'll pull it up. It's not, and the Astros just lost. Damn it. So it's not like crazy bad, but it's not. Where the heck is my? Here we go. So here's the Nationals bullpen here, and Probably not going to have Ferrer. It's not really that bad, but I mean, Cole Henry, 2 of the last 3. Brisky, whoever that is, 2 of the last 3. Finnegan threw 19 pitches. So Nationals bullpen a little bit on the tax side. Plus, they're flying across the country from D.C. So I remember thinking, like, now I know it's Mackenzie Gore against Kershaw, but I think the Dodgers kill him. That was my initial thought, but I didn't look at anything. So it'd be Dodgers in some way here. But that's just spitballing. Either you guys have anything on this one, or do we want to skip? There's actually one more interesting game to talk about.
For sure, and I got to bet in the last one. This is a tough one too. I'm just going to be honest. Even if I was to cap it, I guess the under would be the knee-jerk area or the Dodgers. But no, I haven't got anything in this, and I won't have anything in this. So
yeah, I'll put up Dodgers in under, but I could see maybe finding some way to bet the Dodgers tomorrow. I do think they crush them. The Nats bats are so freaking they've been so bad. Let's move on to the last game, and it's an interesting one. Obviously, Red Sox-Giants is a cool game to begin with, but we got Rafael Devers against Boston already. You'll love to see it. I wonder how many people are going to have Devers home run in this one, right? I mean, especially, it's not just his old team. It's an old team where he left there with, like, it was not cool. It was not a happy parting. So, Cab, you said you got a bet in this game. What do you like?
So before I even say it, because people can call me sharp, square. I don't care what you call me as long as I win. That's all that matters at the end of the day, right? There's different ways to bet. You can cap the market, right? You can cap the matchup. You can look at it like we've been talking about with player props. And then there's the storylines. And this one, obviously, there's the storyline there. I think a lot of times that storylines get people to buy in and bait into bets that are not good bets. But in this one, there is bad blood, right? That clubhouse and him were not. The fact he got traded, not as crazy as like the Luka trade, but man, I put it up there. A 3-time All-Star. You just got back 1 game over 500. He's hitting what, 378 on the season? And you're just going to throw him out like that?
They gave him like a 12-year contract or whatever. Like, didn't they give him a big contract? I don't even remember, actually.
Huge.
And it's like, just go ahead, right? Just go on. And now they sent him to a team that when he joined had 41 wins, right? So, yeah, I like it. I'll buy in on it. I'm going to take his total base prop here. I don't got a juice on it yet, but I will bet Devers total base prop on this.
A lot of people on the Discord are on Devers. Like, a lot of people are liking Devers in this one.
Sometimes in order for that bait to even be bait, sometimes the public's got to get some things right. And even if this is a square public bet, I don't give a shit. Devers smashes tomorrow.
I mean, however it plays out, it's going to be fun as hell to watch. Spoon, what are your thoughts here? By the way, if you guys want to know what I think in this one, I think minus 130 is affordable for San Francisco. Not a big Dobbins guy, and I know the numbers don't support it. I think this Giants lineup is going to be better moving forward with Devers. I know we haven't really seen it. In fact, it looked pretty bad for most of the game today. They ended up winning. I think that's exactly what they needed, was a big lefty bat in there. And I think the Giants lineup is going to be a lot better moving forward. So I think they hit Dobbins here. I like the Giants, and I think minus 130 at home with the starting pitching advantage is affordable. Remember, the Giants played today, but didn't have to travel. So I think this is an affordable price. The reason I didn't pay it is Birdsong struggles with lefty bats, and the Red Sox have a shitload of them. So even though they lost Devers, they still have lefties they could get the Birdsong. So I'm a little scared there. But the Red Sox, they took 2 out of 3 in that series with Seattle. I think they had 9 combined hits in the whole series. They had 9 hits in the 3 games against Seattle. Yeah, they won 2 of the games. They had 9 hits. So I'm not sure how much I like this Red Sox lineup. I'm just worried about all the lefties. So Giants are passed for me. Spoon?
Yeah, I see the numbers versus lefties. It's a 4.14 xFIP. That's nothing that jumps off the page for me. I see the Red Sox bats versus righties, and they're 28th in the league versus righties over the last 30 days, and that's with their biggest bat still in the lineup for most of those games. He's not there today. I think this is a spot where we get the Giants at a reasonable price. Hayden Birdsong is a guy that's still trying to earn this spot in the lineup. This is a great game for him to get it. On the other side, Hunter Dobbins, I think he sort of pitched above water for where I expect this guy to be at the end of the season. This is Oracle. It's a pitcher-friendly park. There's not going to be a ton of runs, so each run is valuable. I think the minus 130 is there for a reason. I'm ready to pay it. Fade the Red Sox. This is one of those spots where Red Sox fans are just Red Sox fans. They go see the player that just got traded away. They feel like they should have gotten a ton more, and then that player beats them, and it's just baseball. We see this every year.
All right, that's the last game. Gentlemen, where can the people find your stuff? Go ahead.
Gab, take it away.
Yeah, so polite, man. And I'll be quick on this, man. Pub Sports Radio, I'm sure Spoon said it. Thank you so much for having me up here, man. It's great to be with somebody else who, as we talked about backstage, is not selling picks. We don't sell picks either, and I think that there's a beautiful opportunity for us to make money. That's what this whole damn thing is about. So thank you for having me, and just Pub Sports Radio, man. Check it out. We have different capping shows, a lot of the same stuff that you guys will like. So thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean the viewers here now. Obviously, there's a lot of them, so there's some people that fits all kinds of descriptions, but for the most part, the core viewership here is not here to tail picks. They're making their own picks, and they're just listening to people they like that they know did their homework. And most of them, when they're watching, have either already made their bets and are just comparing, or are using what I'm saying to make their own bets. And sometimes not a single bet matches. So it's not the best viewership in sports betting is not viewers that are looking to blindly tail or buy picks. It's like people that like the community, and like I feel like you guys fit in well. Spoon, where can they find you? Well, I think they already know, but in case they don't.
Yep, I'm going to be right here a few times a week, and definitely over at Pub Sports Radio a few times a week. Check me out with my friend Wine Time on Sundays. We're doing our own show. Put a ton of work into it, just getting all the information we possibly can into it. It's an afternoon show, and tomorrow Pub's got an afternoon show. You can find all my bets on X at Spoon's Bets, and good luck, everybody. Gamble responsibly, as always. This is a fun thing, but don't get carried away with it if you're having a bad night. I see so many people just get like absolutely nuts with this, and it's wild. This is baseball. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days.
I try to keep it balanced. If I have a very good day, I don't like to open the show like, what's up? But if I have a better bit, like, just try to keep it balanced, because then hopefully you relay that energy to the people. Just keep it in moderation. But yeah, thanks guys for joining. Everyone, I'll have the betting league stuff in about 20 minutes. So give me about 20 minutes. I'll have the standings up. I'll be up for a couple hours doing college football stuff. So if you need me, send me a message. I'll be awake. Yeah. Talk to everyone tomorrow.